Why are you venturing into those forsaken regions?
What do you know about a man named Shaka?
Does that answer your question, Lieutenant? The Masani tribe, Umulus, Lubis, Unus, Yunguanis, countless others, the banished of Southeast Africa, fleeing Shaka's spears, going straight into the arms of the white slave traders and the British troops on the borders of the Cape Colony. In a way, Lieutenant, they are the ultimate victims of recent history. If you'll favor my comparison, they are the wandering Jews of Africa, fleeing the Pharaoh Shaka into the Babylonian captivity of slavery.
Hey, shalom, shalom. It's your brother Ratiza Allah from GMS London Camp. First and foremost, want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakat Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Blessings unto the hopeful and sincere elect, Bachaya Kodash. That's the holy elect, Baha'a Ratiza, in and around the four winds of the earth. Greetings. Now, I just watched this, or parts of it. It's like a 9-hour biopic on YouTube. Brothers can catch it. Of the warrior Shaka Zulu, man, and his expeditions back then during like the mid 1900s, 19th century, should I say 1800s, when he was fighting against the British colonizers, Esau Edom, the devil that the Bible speaks of. And I think this is actual series, like the first episode here, and you just saw that quick clip, like 10-second clip basically of an Edomite in the village, relating the tribes that was over there in East Africa to the dispersed Israelites that came from Babylon, man. And why did Esau do that? Because he knows, through migration and through us leaving the land in 70 AD, which was prophesied in the Bible, in the New Testament, the Lord said to flee to the mountains, when you see the desolation. So these devils know that those Israelites that fled Jerusalem in 70 AD, like it tells you in that book of Rudolph R. Windsor, From Babylon to Timbuktu, basically like a quotation out of that book, talks about 1 million Jews that left from Jerusalem to flee into the west coast of Africa. And the book's called From Babylon to Timbuktu. And the Edomite even said in this video, these jakes that he was encountering with all these different type of ailments in the villages and all that, they're similar or likened to the Israelite dispersed Jews. Specifically, he said dispersed Jews that came from Babylon, man. So look at that, man. That's just showing you more proof that these devils, these so-called white people, know exactly who we are, And it's funny because the Spirit, being an apostle elder to heart, to be saying for a little while now that Shaka Zulu, he's an Israelite basically from the Bantu tribe. And I saw this video clip, which, is 9 hours long. So, you got to get your popcorn and all of that ready and all that for this long-ass movie. But it's in episodes anyway. But I saw it from the first episode. I had to rewind it just to make sure I was hearing what this devil actually said in the video. The doctor, so-called Edomite doctor. So this is just more proof, once again, that Jake fled from Jerusalem and migrated into the, west coast of Africa, even down to southeast. And you got Jakes all around, all throughout Africa, so to speak, but mainly concentrated on the west coast and all that. The Ivory Coast, Nigeria, Ghana, so on and so forth, the Congo, but even as far as southeast Africa as well. So that's just more proof in the pudding for these, the naysayers out here thinking that the Israelites are not scattered. And that was part of the curses that the Lord said was going to happen to his people because we disobeyed and we broke his commandments, man. So that was a good, insightful clip that I just saw. I thought I'd just do a little quick sit down on it, not to harp on it too long, but the Israelite foreigners are being gathered anyway as we speak. And the hopeful elect are getting ready to be beamed up in them chariots sooner rather than later. Abaratazar 2025 be the hopeful year of our deliverance, man, and the destruction and judgment of Esau Edom. So yeah, this is a good biopic to watch, man. It's very extensive and long. As I said, it's 9 hours long. So you gotta have your wits about you. Basically, you gotta be able to sit through hours and hours of film and all that back to back. But basically got through like halfway through of the 9 hours. Basically, it's probably like the 4th or 5th episode, because all these episodes are like an hour per se long each episode. But it was good. It was insightful, man. It was good, man. Shaka Zulu. That shows you he was a straight up warrior, man. He wasn't taking no shit. You know, he was a straight up, you know, a menacing character, man. And his people believed in him, man. They believed him like he was a savior. And that's the spirit of an Israelite anyway, man, you know. Because people always look to certain particular Israelites to basically be the savior of the day. And the Lord's the one that raises them up. But, you know, this is just one of those little examples of that. But yeah, man, Israel is scattered. And this video is just going to be called The Outcast. The Lord's going to gather the outcasts of Israel, pursuant to Isaiah, the 11th chapter, concentrating on mainly the southern kingdom, Judah, you know, because of this video and what it's based upon. So the outcasts of Judah are going to be gathered. This is Isaiah 11, and 11 it says the restored remnant, and eventually all Israel is going to be restored, man. All 12 tribes, southern and northern kingdom. It says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, aka the elect, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt, that's North Africa, and from Pathros, and from Cush, Ethiopia, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. So Jake is literally scattered around the whole four winds of the earth, man. You know, and you can tell by their spirit, you know, the Lord said try their spirits, you know, and Jake, you know, eventually will show themselves because they got a particular spirit that's superior to the other races, man. You know, it says verse 12, it says, and he shall set an ensign for the nations and assemble the outcasts of Israel. What's the ensign? This truth, you know, starting with the 12 tribe sign, man, of Israel, from the perspective 12 tribes and the Israelites that are scattered abroad, man. You know, it says, and shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. Didn't that Edomite say that in the video? That he likened the villagers to the dispersed Jews that came from Babylon, man. You know, and then he compared Shaka Zulu to the Pharaoh, which the Pharaoh was another nation, a dark-skinned nation, but they were of the sons of Ham, you know. They come from Mizraim, which are the Hamites, so they're not our people, or the modern-day Egyptians, so to speak, but our people are scattered amongst them, you know. So they said that, he said the Edomite said specifically the dispersed Jews. And when you talk about Jews, you're talking about the head tribes of the southern kingdom, Judah, the house of Judah, basically, which is Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, which those tribes were scattered since 70 AD, and even before that, into the different interiors of Africa, man. You know, migrating into different parts, into different towns and villages in Africa, where Esau, Edom gathered the slaves. Where you saw that in that video, man. This Edomite devil was putting tissue, or trying to basically bind up a Israelite's neck, because the yoke of iron just rusted out his damn neck, and it's giving him, you know, basically he's dying, man. You know, all kind of ailments. And these devils got to pay for all that, man. You know, these devils, man, they further the affliction, man. So they got hell to pay anyway. And that's why Yahweh Shai is ultimately going to come. Verse 13 says, the envy also of Ephraim, which represents who? The northern kingdom, shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah, which represents the southern kingdom, shall be cut off. It says, Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. So the Lord's going to bind up the divisions that are between the different tribes, man, the two parties, mainly of the southern and northern kingdom, man, and the houses are going to become one under the elect, you know, the house of David, tabernacles of David. So that's waiting to happen, where it's happening as we speak, but it's even more so when Yahweh Shai returns and he beams up these elect. That's going to be Jakes from the southern and northern kingdom getting beamed up into them ships, man, and taking over the whole earth. But mainly I wanted to concentrate on the 12th verse, where it says, you know, to gather together the dispersed of Judah, because that Edomite basically made a quote, like it came out of the scriptures, and from Babylon to Timbuktu, that book from Rudolph R. Windsor, talking about the Israelites that fled, you know, Rome, Jerusalem, and all that in 70 AD, and went to the different parts of Africa and Europe and so on and so forth. Dispersion, man. You know, the scriptures call it a scattering, which when you look up that word scattering in the Hebrew, It's diaspora. No, in the Greek, Salakia, it's diaspora, which means a scattering of Israelite foreigners, basically. Diaspora, which that's the main word that is used for scattered Israelites. Sojourners, so to speak. So this is Ezekiel 36, and main point, verse 24 says, "For I will take you from among the heathen." Because Jake's literally amongst the heathen, man. It says, "For I will take you from among the heathen." It says like Shaka Zulu and them, because they was amongst the heathen, original Hamites of that land in the villages, and they was fighting different tribes and so on and so forth. But it was Israelites, basically trying to set up their own little establishments in the land of Ham. It says, "And gather you out of all countries, and will bring you into your own land." So what land is that? That's the land of Israel, man. The land that this guy Trump is talking about taking over Gaza Strip and all that, talking about taking over Gaza and all that, making it another American occupation, so to speak, similar to the Roman occupation 2,000 years ago. But that land doesn't belong to these Edomites, nor the Palestinians, which are the so-called Arabs. The real inhabitants of that land are you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And when the Lord comes, we're gonna be literally taken back to that land by the Lord Himself, in what the white man calls so-called UFOs, chariots of Israel. It says, the verse 25. It says, "Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean from all your filthiness, and from all your idols will I cleanse you." Yes, no more idol worship, worshipping wood and stone, worshipping animals, and so on and so forth. The only power we're going to worship is Yahweh Bar Hashem, Yahweh Shai. And all these other nations are going to have to bow down and kiss the ring also, because the name of the Lord's going to be exalted and declared just like it was in ancient Egypt. And these nations are going to be in fear. Verse 26, "A new heart also will I give you." And that new heart is talking about what? The new covenant. So we're not currently under the new covenant yet, because we haven't received that new heart as of yet, man. "And I will get a new heart will I give you, and a new spirit will I put within you," which is talking about what? Immortality. Putting the Lord's statutes and judgments on our inward parts innately, and so we can keep the word of the law perfectly, man. We can't keep the law right now perfect, because we're imperfect in the imperfect world, man. We're still in slavery. So then I will take away the stony heart, which represents what? Rebellion, out of your flesh, and I will give you a heart of flesh. Yeah, so the Lord's going to restore us, man. So the new covenant hasn't started yet, because we haven't received a new heart. You got guys out there, so-called Israelite leaders, that teaching we're under the new covenant, and that don't make no sense, because we're still in these bodies laden with sin and iniquity, and feeble bodies and all that. We still get sick. We're not perfect yet. When we be made perfect and given that new heart, we're going to be made immortals on the earth, like it tells you in 1 Corinthians the 15th chapter. So that's not happened yet. It's waiting to happen. It says, and I will put my spirit within you, and cause you to walk in my statutes, and ye shall keep my judgments, and do them. So that's when we're going to be made perfect in the sight of the Lord, and we're going to inherit the Holy Land once again, which is the land of Israel, man. Jerusalem's the mother of us all, not no damn land of Cain, land of Ham, so to speak, Slakia. Africa's not the motherland. That's just a place where Israelites sojourned. But we're going to go back to the motherland, which is Israel. And even here in Isaiah 14:1, it says, "For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them." There's the strangers talking about the Israelite foreigners, like the outcasts of Israel, the dispersed of Judah. It says, "And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob." Yeah, so we're going to become one again as a one people. No longer are we going to be separate houses, man. We're just going to be the 12 tribes occupying the land of the Holy Land and taking over the globe in righteousness, man, through Yahweh Shai, when He returns. It says, "And the people shall take them," which is who we're talking about, the heathen, "and bring them to their place like Esau Edom, man." They're going to get a taste of their own medicine, man. It's called poetic justice. "They that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword, man." There's no negotiations. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints, man. So this is a foreshadowing of thing to come. We're waiting to get our hands on our enemies, man. Number one, these so-called white people, man, and the other nations too. But mainly Esau Edom. It says, "And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord." Where's the land of the Lord? Israel. For servants and handmaids, aka slaves, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors, man. Who's the number one oppressor on the earth right now? Who's got all these, ICE teams and all that, the bounty hunters tracking down Jake from the Northern Kingdom over there in their own land. It's talking about aliens and all immigrants in their own land regarding Mexicans and Venezuelans and so on and so forth, indigenous tribes and Native Americans, because they're getting ruled over by the oppressor, man. Who's the king oppressor of the earth? Esau, Edom, man. The so-called white people. They're the tyrants of the earth right now. So we're gonna get our just dues, man. Starting with Yahweh Shai, he's got first dibs. You read Isaiah 63, it lets you know that. So this is the last precept here, Mark 13, in regards to what the Lord said, Yahweh Shai said, in regards to why Israel fled into the different interiors of Africa, man. It says Mark 13 and 14, it says, but when ye shall see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, standing where it ought not, let him that readeth understand. Then let them that be in Judea flee to the mountains, man. So that's why in 70 AD you had Jakes fleeing into the mountains of the interiors of mainly West Africa, but you had North Africa too. You had the Alexandrian Jews and so on and so forth, and even as far as southeastern Africa as well, where you had guys like Shaka Zulu and all that. Jake's scattered, man. Diaspora, man. They scattered themselves, man. Even as far as Europe and Russia and so on and so forth. It says, and let them that are in the housetop not go down into the house, neither enter therein to take anything out of his house. It says, and let him that is in the field not turn back again for to take up his garment. But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. And that was, Jake catching hell back during that time in 70 AD, man, the affliction from the Romans, man, the Roman persecution, which is written of in what from Babylon to Timbuktu, is it that other book? Is it the two Babylons and all that? It's another book, but it talks about the dispersion of the Israelites, man, mainly of the southern kingdom, the dispersed Jews. 1 million Jews fled into the interiors of West Africa and all that. That's in the books, man. That's in the history, secular history. And that's why this devil said what he said. Because they know who they came to conquer, man, who they came to colonize. Just like when they went over to the New World, Cristobal Colon, or Christopher Columbus as they call him. When he went over there to the interiors of America, he knew who he was going to conquer, Hispaniola and all that. They came across the tribes, man, because they knew the history, man. They read Second Ezra and all that. They knew the history that Israel was scattered amongst the Gentiles, the other nations. So yeah, man, this is just a quick hit right there, man. Hopefully brothers is edified. I just thought I'd just do a quick little response video on this, just on the fact that Apostle Elder Tahar even was saying that Shaka Zulu in his mind is an Israelite, and then I came across this video where the Edomite even acknowledges that the dispersed Jews were Shaka Zulu's people and all that. So look at that, man, But anyway, with that, I want to close out, give all praises and glory to Yahweh, or Hashem, Yahweh Shai, or Hashem, Rakakodash, and Shalom to the hopeful and sincere elect.